The night my marriage ended did not begin with shouting or slammed doors. It began with a question whispered so calmly that it felt rehearsed, like someone reading lines they had practiced in the mirror while deciding whether to burn a bridge. I was rinsing cement dust from my hands at the kitchen sink when my wife said, "Have you ever thought about what it would be like if we didn't belong only to each other?" For a second, I thought I had misheard her, because some sentences simply do not belong in the room where they are spoken. My name is Marcus Holloway, and for most of my adult life, I have built things meant to last. Retaining walls, duplexes, storefronts that survive storms and city inspectors alike. I do not work behind glass or screens. My hands tell my resume better than any title ever could. My wife, Alana Holloway, lived in a different world. Branding strategy, stakeholder alignment, campaigns that lived and died on PowerPoint slides and confident smiles. For 5 years, those two worlds fit together well enough, like uneven stones carefully set so they stopped wobbling. We were not spectacularly happy, but we were steady, and I had always believed steadiness mattered more. That belief cracked the moment Alana turned from the kitchen island and looked at me with eyes already halfway elsewhere. "I think," she said, folding her arms, "we should consider opening our marriage." I laughed because that was the only sound available to me at the time. Alana did not smile back. She explained it the way people explain dietary changes or new workout routines. Measured, rational, already defended. "It's about growth," she said. "About choosing each other without obligation." Obligation, apparently, was what 5 years of shared life had become. I asked where this was coming from, and she shrugged in a way that pretended the thought had drifted in naturally, like pollen. The truth, I would later learn, had a name: Candace Monroe. Candace had entered Alana's life quietly a year earlier. Lunches that ran long, late-night calls disguised as networking, conversations that always left Alana either unusually energized or inexplicably irritated. Candace spoke fluently about freedom and reinvention, about refusing to settle when better options existed. Candace also had no long-term relationships, but she had opinions on everyone else's. That night I did not argue. I simply said, "Let me think about it," and watched relief flash across Alana's face before she masked it with composure. The relief told me more than her words ever could. I spent the next 48 hours doing what I always do when faced with unstable ground. I observed. I noticed how often Alana checked her phone, how she angled the screen away from me without thinking. I noticed the new perfume, sharp and expensive, nothing like the soft vanilla she had worn for years. When I finally told her we could try her idea, she reacted as if I had handed her a passport. She hugged me tightly, thanked me for being evolved, and left the house smiling at a message that arrived mid-embrace. That smile confirmed what my instincts already knew. This was not curiosity. This was permission-seeking. The confirmation came from my younger sister, Renee, who has never believed in sparing feelings at the cost of reality. She came over one evening without calling ahead and sat across from me at the dining table like she was about to deliver a diagnosis. "Marcus," she said, "your wife didn't ask for an open marriage. She asked for forgiveness in advance." Renee showed me messages forwarded from someone who had attended a conference with Alana months earlier in San Jose. In those messages, Alana spoke openly about a man named Victor Langston, a venture capital executive who flew private and spoke in projections instead of promises. One message read, "If this works, I never have to struggle again." That was when disappointment replaced anger. Alana had not fallen in love, she had applied for an upgrade. I did not confront her. I let her believe the illusion was holding. Instead, I found myself noticing someone else, Naomi Carter. Naomi had been part of Alana's circle for years, but she moved differently from the rest. She listened more than she spoke and never tried to outshine the room. When she texted to ask if I was okay after noticing tension at a group dinner, I answered honestly. "I'm learning," I wrote, "who I married." Naomi replied, "I think you're learning who you are. Our connection did not explode, it unfolded. Conversations stretched, silences grew comfortable. She helped me repair a sagging gate behind the house one Saturday afternoon, handing me tools without being asked. Alana watched from the window, suspicion finally blooming where confidence had lived. That night, she accused me of emotional distance. I reminded her gently that distance was the space she had requested. Victor disappeared the way men like him always do, efficiently, without explanation. Alana pretended it did not matter, then pretended she had chosen to end it herself. She cooked elaborate meals again, laughed louder, touched my arm like muscle memory could resurrect trust. It did not. When I told her Naomi and I were seeing each other seriously, Alana reacted as if betrayed by her own rules. She demanded we close the marriage, and demanded we reset. I told her some doors only close after you walk back through them, and I was no longer inside. The divorce conversation was quiet. No shouting, no threats, just clarity. Alana cried when she realized the safety net was gone. I felt nothing except certainty. The prenup we signed years earlier did exactly what it was meant to do. It protected the life I had built before confusion entered it. She left with her belongings and her silence. Naomi stayed. Months later, Alana appeared uninvited at my mother's backyard celebration in Pasadena. She looked polished, rehearsed, hopeful. She asked for another chance. I told her no. Not with cruelty, not with triumph, just truth. Naomi stood beside me, steady as poured concrete. Alana finally understood that loss is permanent when it is earned. Today, my life is quieter and stronger. Naomi and I cook together, plan slowly, and speak honestly even when it is uncomfortable. I build during the day and rest at night without suspicion or second-guessing. Betrayal taught me something no success ever did. Loyalty begins with self-respect. Alana wanted options. I chose direction. And that choice changed everything.